Hello, hello. So my phone is going off, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Do not disturb. Do not disturb. Hello. Happy New Year. This is January 1st. And so, even though it's on a Sunday, I could not let this year start off with me not being where I'm supposed to be, right? So I had an amazing guest scheduled to come on today, and then something came up. And so he's going to come, but he's not going to be able to come until next month. So February the 5th, mark your calendars, February the 5th. Better yet, go ahead and like where you're viewing this. Like if you're on Facebook, go ahead and like uh, the LSMB Business Solutions page. So that way, when I come on, you'll get the notification. On LinkedIn, go ahead and connect with me so that you'll see when these come on. You'll get the notification. On YouTube, go ahead and click subscribe, and then also click the bell, because the bell is how you get the notifications. Make sure you have the notifications turned on whatever platform you're watching me on, because I want to make sure I have some amazing people coming. Like every Sunday, I have unless life happens, right? Because for all of us, things come up, right? They come up for me, they come up for you, they come up for my guests. Things come up. I want to give a shout out to my vest creator, which is Made by Me Academy. They actually made, look at this, y'all. She actually made this, and I wore it in a fashion show back in December. And it wasn't ready yet. So she did some tailoring. And so now it's ready. So shout out to Made by Me Academy owner, Candace Hudson, who created my outfit today. Who created my outfit. Very good, girl. I love this vest. So shout out to her. But today we're going to talk about, it's the first of the year. And if you are a small business owner, you should be doing two things. You should be closing out your books for 2022, right? That's priority. Getting your taxation together, making sure your documents are there, like using this entire month to pull all your paperwork in one place so that you can file your taxes, so that you can close out all your books so that we can start February off right. Okay. So that's one thing you should be doing. The second thing you should be doing is planning. Like, what should you be doing for 2023 based on where you were in 2022? Ideally, you're planning and you're going up. Hey there. Great to have you, Kat. I'm so glad you joined me. But ideally, you are planning, you're in planning mode, right? So, two things you should be doing in January. Two things. The first thing is getting your taxation together, having conversations with your bookkeepers, your accountants, your attorneys, all those people, all those very important people, and getting your books closed for 2022. The next thing you should be doing is planning for going forward. By looking at the numbers, looking at your performance last year, you're going to get ideas of where you can do better. And you're going to be able to set better goals based on data. Like I know a lot of us are operating our businesses on emotions and feelings. Like we feel like we're doing good because we're busy. We feel like we're making our numbers. We feel like, things are going right because we're getting customers and we're selling products and services. And we feel like everything is great. But this morning in my Facebook group, and I'm going to that's what I was doing. I was trying to log into Facebook on this, on my Google Docs. And let me tell you guys, my Google Docs is very special because it's very old. But I was going to log in on Facebook and pull my groups. I have a free group Facebook for specifically for small business owners. And so this morning I looked at my metrics on Facebook and, looking at engagement. So looking at my engagement on Facebook, I saw the places where people are engaging with me most. Thank God it's in Tennessee where I am. But then there are other states that are engaging with my ads, engaging with my page. And so when I'm thinking about planning, then I'm thinking about, okay, wherever I have a warm audience and and have a following, those are going to be the easier places for me to start marketing what I do. Because next Saturday, I'm actually starting my next 12-week course. And the 12-week course is designed to help business owners learn the business aspects of their business better, right? To do better on the business aspects. And so it's a 12-week course. It starts on Saturday mornings at 10 p.m. for the next 12 weeks, beginning January 7th. So when I'm marketing that, now I know the age groups, right? Which my age groups generally are between 34 and here lately 65-year-olds are jumping in. But it used to be 34 to 54. But now here lately, some of the people who are in retirement are finding that they have skill sets that they can make money with. And so they've jumped back into the game and they've started following me. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I basically work with anyone of any age because I have some young people that I mentor. And for them, I don't charge. If you're in school, if you're a kid, I don't charge you to mentor you because that's my give back, right? To have a young entrepreneur who is ready to go into entrepreneurship. That right there is, I just think is the gravy. So I mentor kids, I mentor children, but I do not mentor adults. For adults, it's called coaching. For adults, it's called coaching. So that's a different thing. So the first thing, if you want to be on the show, if you're an interesting person or you have an interesting business or you have something that you think needs a story that you think needs to get out, then I invite you to come on the Business Plugs Mixer. Like we're picking up momentum and I'm so excited that people are paying attention and people are calling my guests and they're interacting with them. And I love that because my goal is to educate, empower, and expose small business owners to the business side of doing business. I have a host of people that I'm connected to that are doing so many great things. We've done marketing and finance, and we've done all types of things here, right? I even had a person that's saving the bees. We've done all kinds of things in 2022. And I want to do just as well, if not better, in 2023. So if you are interested in coming on the Business Plugs Mixer, it airs live here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I say 7 p.m. ish because today I was 4 minutes late, right? So 7 p.m. ish, it comes on Eastern time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, so talking about the things those are the housekeeping things that I need to get over. Going back to my story about the metrics. So when you're planning, like while you're closing your books and looking at your sales and you're evaluating what happened last year, I want you to look at the numbers. Like that's what a lot of business owners don't understand and don't rely on their numbers. And your numbers, they're telling the true picture about you, right? If you're trying to get funding, if you're trying to get grants, if you're trying to bring on partners, if you're trying to do collaborations, if you're trying to get contracts, like all of those, the lifeblood of your business would be your numbers. And so understanding your numbers will help you to make more solid projections and not guesstimations. I talk to business owners all the time. And when I ask them things about what is your bottom line, and they're like, well, last year I made, and they give me the gross, right? They give me what the revenue gross amount, and they haven't pulled out the cost of goods sold. So then we have to walk through that, and then we have to walk through their fixed costs and their operating costs and make sure, the taxes and all this stuff to get to their net income to understand what their business actually did. And so having three different financial reports, every business owner, I don't care if you're selling hot dogs or you're selling hair pieces, if you're selling beauty supplies or you're selling sandwiches, like it doesn't matter what you're selling. you need to have these 3 documents, and you need to be talking to your accountant and talking to whoever's doing your bookkeeping or whoever's doing your numbers, or do it yourself if you're using QuickBooks or one of the other things. But you need to understand what your net income statement said for last year. It's going to show the amount of revenue you got in. It's going to show how much you have paid to do business. And then it's going to show you your gross profit. And from your gross profit, it's going to show you all the fixed and operating costs that came out. And then the very bottom is going to show you what your net income was, the bottom line. Like the bottom line is truly a bottom line. And the thing about that is you can look back monthly and see which months things were going crazy, right? You can look back and see what you did and see, okay, so in May we didn't do well. Well, go back and look at May and see what was happening. Like taking a historical look for 2022. Don't close it yet. Everybody's buy 2022, turning my back on it. Don't want to see it no more. No. We can't do that. We don't have that luxury because 2022 is our most current history, and it tells us what happened last year. I mean, I would challenge you to go all the way back to 2020 and then do a comparison of 2020, 2021, and 2022 and see if the numbers tell you anything, right? Are you going up? Are you going up? I teach math to adults who want to get their GED, and we're talking about grafting, right? And we teach them what's a positives, right, and what's negatives. So looking at your numbers, you can see very quickly if your revenue is going up or if your revenue is going down. You can also see if your cost is going up or your cost is going down. Like you can get your arms around your finances and understand what's happening to your business on a financial standpoint by looking at your historical data. Like a lot of us, we file our taxes, we put that in the closet somewhere, we don't look at it again. But as a business owner, you cannot afford to do that. You can't. 3-year look back is great. Go back and look and see what happened, and then try to remember doing, and this being the first time, you may have to go look at some emails. You may have to go look at your calendars, your scheduling. You may have to go look and find out what was happening at that time. And if you do a 3-year look back, you can easily see, okay, so for the last 3 years, every May, our sales went down. I talked to a business owner just the other day, and right now she's in her down season, right? And she said, well, historically, around about Thanksgiving through Christmas, we don't do well in her business because she's a esthetician. So she sells makeup and she does lashes and she does skincare and all these things. And, during that time, people are trying to get Christmas for our kids, right? Our kids and grandkids, and people are spending a lot of money on Christmas. So they don't spend they forego money on themselves, excuse me, so that they can buy things for the children. And so what I challenged her to do is think about another way she can make money. So if they're not coming to you, how can you go to them? What organizations can you offer your services from, too? And so we talked about her going out, getting out and going to knocking on some doors and introducing herself and her services in these down cycles. We also talked about her looking at her historical data and listening to what her customers say. And maybe there's another revenue stream that she's leaving on the table. And so we talked about, and we found that she could be teaching classes. Like people want to know how to put these lashes in. It takes her 2 hours, I think she told me, to put lashes in. And she wants to teach other people how to do it and hopefully get other businesses, right? And I love her spirit in that she understands there's enough for everybody out here. Like she's not about that, that's my competitor and I'm not going to help. No, she understands giving back to her industry. It's how the industry stays vibrant and it's how the industry grows, which benefits her too in the long term. So these are business conversations. These are the things that you as a business owner should be thinking about on a daily basis, during this month, especially because January is the reset month, right? January is the restart month. January is when you really can look back. If you've been operating since last January, you can look back and see what are the numbers telling you. What does the data say about your marketing strategies, about your sales strategies, about the way your distributions, your customer service, like, are you creating customer journeys? Are you doing one and done? A lot of business owners are doing this one and done, where they sell a product and they go to the next person and they go to the next person. And you really can't scale a business like that because you're not creating a customer journey. And so we talk about customer journeys. How can you get your business customers to come back, right? Because that's a warm audience. That's somebody who's already purchased from you and build that relationship, right? I always take my classes when I'm talking to them. I always take them back to the Ingalls. Like, I love the Ingalls. And, okay, so Mrs. Ingalls was a little eccentric, but she knew everybody's business. I mean, she knew everything about everybody that walked through her door. And that level of customer service is what keeps people coming back. Yes, she was over the top, but at the same time, she knew to ask about the children and the birthdays and who's visiting in town. And I mean, she had her ear to the ground and she knew everything about everybody. That level of business relationship, customer service helps to have, not to the extreme that she was, because she was out there, but to the level of knowing your customer's birthday, knowing their spouse's birthday, knowing their children's birthday, knowing what sports they play, or what are some of the things they like. Like, all of that is customer journey. So when you're looking at your numbers, you've also, hopefully you've also asked your customers, what else can I do for you? Like, you're complimenting whatever you're doing. I had someone who was selling candles, and we talked about having scents, making scents for the house. So the candles, is something if you want to relax an evening or bath or whatever. But just if you want to smell that aroma in the house, what about an air spray? Like, think about ways that you can keep your customers coming back for other products. And we talked about value ladders this week. I've been really trying to get these business owners to think and expand more than this one and done. I am so against one and done. So what else, what other offer can you as a business owner give to your customers so that they come back? And then, when you're doing your planning, then plan that out, right? So we actually charted, one of the young ladies I work with this week, we actually charted out 90 days, but we also talked about 4 different goals she can have this quarter. She has 3 goals, and then 3 goals for the next, and then 3 goals for the next, and 3 goals for the next. And we do that because we're not doing, like I used to do, 3-year goals, 5-year goals, all that. COVID came, honey, and COVID said, no, none of that matters right now. None of that matters. It disrupted every goal setter in the world. And so now we have to learn how to manage and be flexible. So if something should happen, God forbid, but if something should happen, that we're able to, we don't have all our eggs in a basket that can't be movable, right? So being flexible and understanding your industry, understanding what's coming down the pike, listen to experts, being a part of associations. Like, planning is a big thing. And it's the most underused tools that business owners forget about or don't even invest in. And so we talked about, putting time on the calendars so that we remind ourselves to have a planning session. I love, there's a couple, the good ones. I love that him and his wife, Mike and Rosalind, shout out to you guys, and Gabby Goodwin, their daughter, all of them entrepreneurs, right? And so, but they go away on a retreat. Her and her husband go away in December, and they do a whole retreat planning for their business for the next year. and they go to, very nice places, and they have a retreat just like they would if they were working for a corporation, because corporations do it. They go on retreats. I've been on retreats. I've been to like wineries and very nice places when I was working in corporate. And so they do the same thing, go someplace where they can relax. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good, Leona. Good, good. But yeah, planning and really thinking about, making a conscious effort to sit down and say, let's plan out no more than 90 days. And so what I did yesterday is I have a Facebook group. It's called Building Your Own Six-Figure Business. And that's the Facebook group, right? So it's Building Your Own, and it's the number 6 with a dash figure business, and it's on Facebook group. But in that group, I have like almost 600 people. And yesterday I went on and I actually did an annual planning session, and which was really funny because I was wondering why nobody was showing up. And Facebook, I don't even know. Facebook decided not to show my members that I was online until like the end. And so I had to go and do it at everyone, so everybody could see it. But in that session, I talked about, a SWOT analysis, right? If you're not familiar with a SWOT analysis, go look it up. You need to do one. Start off there. Start off with a SWOT analysis, or join my book, join my group, and you'll see the video from yesterday. I'm leaving it up for 48 hours. And so it has very succinct steps for them. There's a presentation of slides that I could not use doing the presentation, but that they can use, they can actually download and go through themselves. And then today I added a 15-point checklist, and all of this is free. It's a free Facebook group, but the free checklist is for them to go through while they're doing their planning, some of the things they may or may not have known, to familiarize them with the free tools that are out there and available for all small businesses in America. Like score.org, right? Who uses score.org? Not most businesses even know that you can have a free mentor anywhere in the country at score.org. And so on the checklist, the 15 things I have them to do, one of the things is get a mentor because you need a mentor. You need somebody you can bounce ideas off of. And these are retired business people or active business people who donate their time for free to help other business people. Like, who doesn't want that? So score.org is one of the 15 things. And the other one is, another one is the SBA.gov, the SBA.gov, because they have partnered with small business development centers, SBDCs, around the country. And so, yeah, good, Leona, you are, babe. Let me tell you, a lot of people don't even know SCORE exists, but you are good. You're ahead of the curve. And so the SBDCs offer a free business coach, right? Because I'm a business strategist and I'm not cheap. And so when you pay your taxes, you're already paying them to stay in business, to help you stay in business. So why not use the services you already paid for? But they'll give you a free business coach. They'll give you an hour with an attorney. It's in a group setting, but you can hear questions that are being asked by other business owners. It may be something that you haven't thought of, or you may find solutions by being in that group setting, right? And then they have an hour with a CPA where you can ask like your accounting questions. I had a prospective client reach out yesterday, and she's wanting to do a co-op. And so she was reading all the guidelines. She sent me all the information about it. And that is not my lane of genius. Okay. So I, gave her 3 suggestions of people who she needs to contact. And she chose one of them that is going to work for her. But I will refer out to the specialist. Like, I am the person that gives you the overview of all of it. Like, I know enough about all of it to tell you how to begin. But then when he goes deep dives in the information, I have specialists that come that are good at marketing, good at structures, right? That is an attorney or CPA's question. That's not a business strategist question. So I referred her to some entities that's going to help her find resolution, especially when you have assets. It is imperative that you be structured correctly. And so I didn't want to misguide her, gave her 3 resources that she could reach out to. But things like that, like knowing what to do, when to do it. So the SBDC will give you the generic information that you need to start off with. Like, it's worth a conversation. Like, one of the young ladies I'm working with through an entity, they've contracted me to coach some of their students. When we're finished, I've connected her with the SBDC. We're going to create a checklist. And I've challenged her to connect with the SBDC to get her a business coach so that they can implement the things that we've talked about. Like, that's a very intelligent conversation. And rarely do I don't know how it is in the whole United States, but I know the ones here talk about rarely do the people come, the business owners come with the kind of questions that she's going to be able to ask based off the conversation we've had, right? So she's armed and dangerous. She's armed and dangerous, and I love it. But that's what's necessary when you're talking about going and getting the resources you as a business owner need. A lot of people don't use the SBDCs, and it's free. And I get it. Sometimes, I have business owners say, well, Linda, I work with so-and-so and I didn't get anything out of it. Well, guess what? You can ask for another one. You can ask for another counselor. Sometimes it's personalities. Sometimes it's that favorite person may be new, or there could be a million reasons, right? And so don't get stuck on we couldn't work together and just trash the whole thing, throw the whole thing away. Find somebody in the office that you can work with, because they have access to funding. They have access to non-traditional funding. They have access to other resources that support small businesses. It is a wealth of information. And so here in Chattanooga, where I am, like, I know, Lynn Chestnut and Sarah and Josh and the people that, like, I know enough people there to refer my clients, my students, to a person so that they can have conversations when I know they need help. So invest your time in connecting with your local SBDC. If you live in a rural area, you're probably going to have to go to the big city to find one, right? And if you do, then go to the big city. You're worth it. But here, they do a 1.5 hour orientation. You go to the orientation for 1.5 hours, and then you have access to everything, like business plan assistance, information. Now, they do for-profit here. They do all the for-profit businesses, everything you need. But for nonprofits, they'll do the business side, not necessarily the nonprofit side. So if you're a nonprofit, look at United Way. Here we have, it's called Venture Forward, and they're connected to United Way here. So you want to check with, and United Way will know what nonprofit entity is out there to help you to build your nonprofit. So don't think because I'm talking for profit that you nonprofit people that I haven't thought about you as well. So yeah, but it's about getting resources and getting help. Like, this is the month to reach, to cast your net wider, right? Cast your net wider and think about who do you need to see. First of all, do the SWOT analysis first and see where your low-hanging fruit are. That's where you're going to start first in your goal setting. So if you look and you see that your revenue isn't where you think it should be, then what focus does that need to have? And if you look and see that you haven't seen enough customers, because the law of probability says the more people see you, the more customers you'll have. And so if you can look and see, oh, well, we don't have enough customers, then that becomes a goal. How do you get in front of more people? Do you start going on TV, radio? Do you do live broadcasts? Do you start a podcast? Like, what does that look like? What does it look like in order to get you in front of more people? So you have to think about who your audience is and knowing where your targeted audience. I was telling you the story about my metrics this morning on Facebook, and I noticed again the states where I have people activity. And so I'm going to, when I'm looking for my marketing, I'm looking at that information. I'm looking at the age and the genders, and I'm looking at where they are in the world, and I'm looking at how did they find me. So what tool did they use? And so I found that a lot of people found me using the Facebook. Like 48% of the people who found me using the Facebook app. So I need to make sure that I have a presence in that app, right? So I need to investigate, how can I get my ads, more ads going to that app? Because that seems to be where most of the people are finding me. Like using data to think about what your next moves are, and being able to read your metrics. Okay. Absolutely. Yes. Visibility. Because if they can't see you, Liana, they don't know you're there. If they can't see you, they don't know you're there. And I get the people who are moving in silence and invisible and all that, I hear you. But I worked with Steve Harvey for 2 years, him and his staff for 2 years. And he talked about his relationship with Oprah. I also worked with Paul Brunson for a year. And Paul talked about how Oprah found him. And all the people who I know, who I look up to for information and who have already arrived, they all tell me that moving in silence thing is not what businesses should be doing, because you don't know enough friends to support your business in the long term. So it's going to be strangers. It's going to be people you've not met yet. And if that's what it is, they won't meet you if you're moving in silence. Like they will never find you. Paul, and you can follow him. He's on LinkedIn, Paul C. Brunson. He's the one that named me the business plug. So shout out to Paul. I always give him his credit for that. But you look at the fact that he said how Oprah found him. So he was a protege for Oprah for a while. He worked for her. I think he said it was 3 years. And how she found him is he was doing YouTube videos. And he was the only African-American matchmaker that was on YouTube at a time. I guess everybody else was moving in silence. I don't know. But Oprah found him because she watched some of his YouTube videos. Well, just think if he hadn't been there, she wouldn't have found him. She wouldn't have found what she was looking for at the time, right? So you have to think about what it is that you are doing and who could possibly be looking for you. Like a lot of people, and another thing he said, another point he said was that video didn't have a lot of views. And so, we talk about followers, and I got to have 1,000, 20,000, 1,000,000 people follow me and all this. You only need one Oprah to turn your whole life around. Like you only need one person who is ready to invest in you and believe in what you're doing to turn your whole business around. You don't need a massive audience of people, unless a massive audience of people is supporting you. Because a lot of times people have all these followers and probably 20% are actually interacting with them, if that many. And then of that 20%, less than that are actually buying, right? So think about it. Think about including your visibility. I love that, Leona. I love that. Increasing your visibility. The more people that see you, the law of probability says the more people, the more customers you'll have. So that's a good thing. Another thing, so like the visibility, revenue, customers, do you need to add technology to your business? I tell any business owner, if you are forever doing the same thing repetitiously, you should think about automating that. Like a lot of people are still using pen and pad, and they're manually doing things that could be automated. There's so many apps out here, honey. Invest in apps. Like in that group, I actually give you a collaboration tool. I give you some live things like this. And I give you, I need to put the StreamYard in. I didn't do that. But I just had a thought. But I give you some tools to use that can help you to automate some things. I had COVID in September of 2021, and my business was able to keep chugging along because I had set up automatic payments. I had set up automation in my business so that even when I was in that coma for 15 days, my business was still going. Like people were still getting paid. People were still, the business was still doing what the business does without me. If something, God forbid, should happen to you, will your business continue without you? That's important. And so understanding about putting technology in your business, understanding the metrics, understanding things about traffic and how you deliver, understanding what products and services you can add to your business, understanding, and I'm reading all this automation, understanding how people get paid, like making it easy for people to do business with you, understanding everything that's out there that can help you to do the business in the way that you want to do business. Like something as simple as using a Calendly account or some other scheduler account where you're not haggling about availability times, where a customer can just go in and choose a time and date and you're available because it's bouncing off your Google Calendar. Like simple things. So those are all the things I wanted to come in and talk about. It's planning time, it's planning season. And if I can impress upon any and all of you to the importance of planning, the importance of making sure that you're not being drugged by your business, but that you're actually in the driver's seat, right? Think of your business as a car, and you are in the driver's seat controlling where the car goes. Or are you like Tesla and you have it on autopilot and it's dragging you down the highway? Like your business is literally just dragging you. I don't want you to be that. I want you to be more in control of your business so you can make better business decisions. And if you've enjoyed this video and you want to go deeper into the aspects of business, my class starts next Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It's a 3-hour class. It only happens on Saturday. And we're using the Fast Track, which is the Kauffman Foundation's evidence-based program for entrepreneurs. We are going through every aspect of business in order to make business owners stronger in doing business. And so the link is in this video, wherever you're watching it. Look in the description of the video and you'll see the link. Now, how this works is $50 will reserve your seat in the class. And then you will schedule an appointment so you and I can talk, so that I can get to know you. I can get to know what your business is and what your needs are. And I can make sure that this class meets your needs. In addition to that, at the end, if you do all the work in the class in the 12 weeks, at the end, you have a business plan. You have a business plan for $247. That's what the class costs, $247. You get the knowledge and you get a business plan, a submittable business plan at the end of the class. And guess what? The business plan is the plan that you designed by doing the homework in the course. You can't ask for anything better than that. So if you're needing business plan, if you're needing business structure, if you're needing help operating your business, then the Building Your Own Business 12-week course is exactly what you've been looking for. And I have the link to it. It's also in the descriptions here. So if you want to come on the Business Plus Mixer, I have that link there. And if you want to join me next Saturday, starting next Saturday in the business class, I have that link there too. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug. And I just plugged you into planning this month of January. I hope you as a business owner are taking time, all of you are taking time to plan out your 2023. I wish you happy success. I'll see you next Saturday. I'll see you next Sunday. I will have a guest and you'll see the announcement. Make sure you have the notifications on so you'll know when we're on, because I want this free information to help you become a better business owner. In 2023, we are just going to do business well. That's what we're doing. And so I am all about that. And I hope you've enjoyed the show. And I'll see you next Sunday. Have a great rest of your weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.